But get in a car and drive around, and there are roads and bridges and all parts of the city that seem to be perpetually under reconstruction and deconstruction. The fact is, we have not maintained our infrastructure because we haven't had the money. That has to stop now. I worked for the CEO of Texas Instruments, which is a big company. It employed 61,000 people, and we were going through a massive change when I worked there. And I had the privilege of interacting with the CEO, and I asked him one day, I said, how do you change a company that has 61,000 employees, is scattered all over the planet? How do you possibly make that kind of radical change in such a humongous organization? He said, it begins and ends with priorities. These are my priorities. These are the things that I care about now. These are the things that I will address on my first day in office until my last day in office. In the coming weeks and months, we will have detailed initiatives that describe how we're going to address each one of these priorities. First, we must have confidence in our government. I will tell you that it is totally unacceptable, and it is not in the character of the people that live here, that we go anywhere, hat in hand, to ask anybody for any help until we've proven we can manage our own affairs. And only after we've done that can we go for help. Greater personal safety. We don't live in the most dangerous city in America. The statistics don't show that. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 15 years. When I first moved to that city, it was a relatively safe city. By the time I left, it was the most dangerous city in the world. The problem, we let that crime creep up every day, week, month, and year. I don't want that to happen here. I want to nip it in the bud right now. Fewer and fairer taxes. Where do I begin? We have 7 taxes out of the general fund and countless fees. The tax structure that exists in this city was built for a population and an economy that existed when Harry Truman was sworn in as president. That has to stop now. Sustainable economic development. We cannot build an economy on restaurants and shopping malls. That can't happen. I'm the CEO of a company that's on the South Side, on the board, and I advise other companies. This is not a great place to start a company, and it's not a great place to grow a company right now. That needs to change. Our priorities need to get back to basics. The basics are, and the only way we're going to get through this economic mess is if we expand the tax base, and that means growing businesses right here in this wonderful, magnificent city. Efficiency, effectiveness, and transparency. Where do I begin? Our city has none of those things. We have a culture in city government of good enough. And as everybody in this audience knows, and as my dad said time and time again, good enough is never good enough. We are going to focus on excellence as a city government. Excellence will be the standard by which we judge our own performance as a city government. This is a sensitive topic. I've lived in this community for 10 years. There is a cultural divide. We are divided along racial lines, generational lines, age, income, gender. Our neighborhoods are divided. Our city is divided. As mayor, I can't solve that problem. I personally can't bridge that divide. You can. But I can start a dialogue to help us move in the right direction. I want to highlight one of the initiatives that gets to one of my priorities. One of my priorities, as I mentioned, is restoring confidence in local government. I want to highlight one particular initiative, which I call the management contract. I've learned one thing in life, in business, and in government. You can't do anything. You can't lead. You can't ask others to follow unless you yourself are willing to be accountable. and hold the other people who lead accountable as well. That's why I'm going to create a management contract that I will sign. It will be the who, what, when, where, how we are going to do city government, and every one of my department heads is going to sign it, and we're going to post it on the web, and we're going to hold ourselves to that standard of accountability. As Pittsburghers, we face challenges large and very complex. Challenges not like I've been facing for 25 years in business, government, the nonprofit sector. The first great mayor in history, Pericles of Athens, once stated, "All good things on this earth flow into the city because of the city's greatness." Yet we Pittsburghers have lost some sense of our greatness and what this city has to offer. We need to change to lift our spirit, and in lifting our spirit, lift our vision of what is possible, of what we can truly achieve as Pittsburghers. Do you know it was only a few blocks from here, on this very spot, where Theodore Roosevelt gave a speech in 1917, capturing the true character of the wonderful people that live in this magnificent city. There is no more American city than Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh gives a lesson to the entire United States. Pittsburgh has not been built by talking about it. Your tremendous concerns were built by people who actually did the work. You made a Pittsburgh ace high when it could have been deuce high. There is not a Pittsburgher who did not earn his success through his deeds. Though we cannot recapture our past, we can draw inspiration from it and write the most remarkable chapter in our city's remarkable history. We can strive beyond the goal of merely being a livable city to being one of the greatest cities the world has ever known. And in doing so, rediscover our true character as Pittsburghers. So today I stand at this station, this historic landmark, at this crossroads asking for your help. I cannot go it alone. With the vision as our beacon, let's go forward and challenge the conventional thinking that has bound us for so long, seek accountability, and elect responsible leadership. Thank you all very much.